All right, so good to get a win. Don't have much on the injury front. Haven't talked to the trainers yet. So good to get a win. Proud of the team, all of them.
When you look at Jaxson Dart, this is kind of a two-part question. Can you take us what you saw from him in that first drive of the game and then his overall game and leading you guys to that first win?
Yeah, I mean, that's his job as a quarterback, make good decisions. Convert, make the right choice. You know, wasn't perfect. Didn't expect it to be in his first game. But a tough opponent, you know. 3-0 team with a pretty good defense. Thought he made good decisions. Thought we ran the ball well. Thought we controlled the game for the most part. Had some turnovers on defense. But I think the young man played well within himself. Made a huge play when he needed to Theo on that third down play. So happy we got him.
For you guys to turn to the rookie, for you to make that decision to go to Jaxson.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
It took a lot for you guys to make the decision to go to Jaxson this early in the year, and for you to respond though with a victory, like you said, against this team. What does it mean, and do you feel any vindication at all for the move to him?
No, I mean we're trying to go 1-0. You know, we closed it out this game. You know, missed the closing out a couple weeks ago, so there was some improvement in that area. You know, I thought the running backs ran hard. We only had 2 of them up. They both ran hard. Motor and Scat line played pretty well. But again, defensively, I thought we created some pressure on Herbert. They hit us on a couple explosives there in the second, and you know, the long run. Look, it's good to get a win. I'm happy for our players. I'm happy for our coaches. They put a lot of time and effort and energy into us. Jaxson has. You know, all quarterbacks do, but, you know, for a young player to come out here in his first game against a 3-0 team with Herbert as quarterback and the defense, you know, the way they were playing, I think it says a lot about our guys. I think it says a lot about 6.
How does it feel for you to get this win?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to get a win. That's the goal, but I'm more happy for the assistant coaches, the players. You know, we put a lot of effort into this. Haven't got the results we want. We're close, you know, one game, not close in other games. But credit goes to, you know, the guys that are staying there late at night and the players that are busting their cans. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of all the guys that contributed, which is not just the guys that were out there. It's the practice squad guys. But give a lot of credit to our guys and try to build off of this next week. I know 6 is probably going to be sore. I mean, he gutted it out. Son's a tough son of a, you know what? He's tough. But I knew that.
Coach, congratulations on the win. You talk a lot about the red zone offense. You had a couple of chances again today.
Well, what did we end up? 2 for 4, or what was it?
Yeah.
2 for 5.
What was it? 2 for 5. Not good enough. I mean, we were trying to run it in. You know, I thought we had a chance on the corner there with Scat. Guy made a nice play. You know, work in progress. We've been working our tails off on it. Wanted to try to, you know, run the ball in this week. So we'll keep working on it. That'll go a long way. We're getting down there. Got to continue to improve in that area.
When Malik went down, you know, everyone goes around him. To see him carted off, I'm sure was a very difficult thing for everybody.
Yeah, anytime anybody gets injured, it is.
You know, a guy like him, obviously such an important player. When do you think your team needed to show you something or show themselves something after that? That can be a jarring thing in a close game like that.
No, I mean, they're grown men that compete their tails off in a professional football game. Injuries happen. Certainly not happy about it, whether it was Malik or anybody else. But unfortunately, this is a business of injury. And I feel terrible for Malik's injury. We'll see where it's at. You know, he's an important piece of our team, but the guys that play behind him, you know, just like last year when Slayton went in, Seattle, and the week after that, whatever it may be, everybody gets paid to do a job, and it's the next man up.
How big was you mentioned the completion of Theo and how big of a moment that was.
Yeah.
Was there any hesitation at all to
call a pass?
To call a pass in that spot, and why?
No. You know, it's interesting with that play. It was a little bunch play. We've worked it one way for, you know, I don't know, 10 years since we've been running a play. And, you know, Dart sees me in the locker room right before I come out here. He's like, on that play we ran, Theo and I talked about that, what it was yesterday, the day before, and that if we get this look, I want you to sit. We normally don't really sit on it. So that's a credit to 2 young players playing the game and having confidence in a critical time to do what they talked about, whether studying film. And look, I got a lot of confidence in our rookie quarterback. But he's a rookie quarterback, so there's going to be mistakes that be made. We know that. There'll be more next week. There was some this week. It's not going to be perfect. I've went through this before, 7 years ago, whatever it may be. But the way he extended plays, that penalty on John, I think what they call it on John Michael, 7-yard run or whatever it was. Who was it on, Dan? Okay. That was a big one because that was a huge play. But, the run in the end zone, kid's a competitor. It's not going to be perfect. I'm sure he'll be the first one to tell you there's a lot that he can do better. We got to continue to help him do it better. But I like his traits. I like his toughness. I'm glad we got him.
Briefly touch on the defense.
You mentioned.
I'm sorry. I'll get you in a minute.
Dave, you mentioned it. What a tough son of a dog.
Yeah.
There's no question he is. But he took a lot of shots. He took a lot of shots today. And how do you kind of balance that competitiveness?
I trust him. I think there's different shots you take. We watch them every week. There's going to be shots when you run through. That play that they jumped off sides or off sides, what was it, 4th down or whatever it was? The crowd was going crazy. He hit it for 2 yards. There's different shots you don't want to take you want to try to minimize them. But part of what I love about him is what he did in college. He's tough. He's a competitor. So I'm glad he's our young quarterback.
You briefly touched.
Again, and there's going to be a lot of growing pains, I'm just telling you. But his job is to go out there and do what we need to do to win as a quarterback, whether it's run it a bunch, make a big 3rd down play. Again, there's a lot of things to improve on, though, from him, and he'll be the first to tell you. So, but let's give credit to the other guys around him, how the backs ran, the receivers blocked. We ran the ball more. I don't know, what did we run for? I don't have it. We run for what? Dan, you know? No, you don't know? Okay. 161. Okay. So I'll take that. Stuff to improve in the red zone, stuff to improve in the passing game, and credit to the defense for closing it out, getting 2 big turnovers. Dexter rumbling down there. I thought Jude did a good job. But again, it's one game. Our goal is to win that one game 1 week. I'm happy we did. Certainly a lot of things to clean up. We're close in other games, not close in other ones, but the goal is just to continue to improve, and I'm happy for the players and the coaches.
Dave, what about your pass rush today? What about the way they got after Herbert? Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that's what I expect from them. There's a lot of good players up there, and I told them that the night before. I think that the biggest thing in this game is going to be how our guys play, and I'll give. I saw Burns after, and I saw him during the game. He is spent. I'm not saying it's the flu game, but that young man is spent. He looks the part right now.
You mentioned Dex's interception and return. How much were you hoping he was going to take it all the way?
What do you think? Yeah, I was hoping. I don't even think, what did we get, a field goal out of that? So.
You mentioned Jackson's toughness. Was there any conversation with the hamstring? It looked like he was limping pretty good at the end of the first half.
He ain't going to come out.
Did you guys have to always talk about it, though, or limit anything with him, or no? It was just...
We didn't run him much. We ran him on scrambles. So we stayed away from that in terms of, I would say for the most part, because there was stuff that we did a few things at the end there that we thought we needed to do, get an extra blocker. I'm sure he'll be sore tomorrow. But, I don't know, we got the holding penalty, but for that guy to go however far it was, I think that just shows his grit. But I'm not surprised.
They showed it on TV afterwards. You were pretty pumped up. You went up to him after the game. What was your message to him at that moment?
When it was what?
Well, after the game, you went out, like they showed it on TV. You went up to him, whispered it in his ear, slapped him on the chest. What was your message to him in that moment?
I probably said great effing win, something like that.
Dave,
Yeah.
two more. Dave, you mentioned.
What? Go ahead, Pat. What you need?
What did you guys figure out defensively today? Was it just your pass rush winning on them so frequently? And Abdul specifically seemed like he was just terrorizing Herbert all day.
Well, what do you mean? What did we figure out? What does that mean?
Seemed like you had answers to what they were bringing you in the passing game all day.
And are you, like, comparison to what? Just like how we played defensively today? Is that what you're asking? How we played defensively today, or are you saying comparison?
What do you mean?
That's what I'm asking you.
Why did your defense play well today?
They played hard. I thought they did their job. Again, it wasn't perfect. We gave up a big one at the end of the half. We gave a big one backed up. But I thought, it starts up front, controlling the line of scrimmage, getting pressure on the quarterback. Again, they had a couple big runs that hurt us. We got to get that fixed because that'll get you. And I would say at the end of the half, that 4th and 2, stay in earmuffs, stay off sides. And we just got to do a better job of that. And some of our young guys and keep on working with them. Thought the defensive coaches did a good job. I thought the players played hard. They made some plays in terms of the back end of breaking up plays, and they got after the quarterback a little bit, which always helps. Does that answer? You good? Okay.
How big was Burns' interception? Excuse me. How big was Burns' quarterback hit and Phillips' interception?
At the end of the game? Yeah, it was huge. Yeah, huge. The guys played tough. All the guys, not just, defense, special teams, offense. Coaches did a good job. One game, we try to win. We try to win every week, and we fell short a number of weeks. And it really doesn't matter what you do next week. You got to get ready to play, compete, make plays during the game, play good situational football. There's really not many secret recipes to winning in this league. It's hard. You got to do a good job all the way around.
How big was the game on the ground from? How big was the game on the ground from Cam today?
What do you have?
79 to kind of compliment Jaxson in his first start.
Huh?
In the 3s, I think.
Yeah. Well, I just say, look, the run game was important. Control the game, and we can do better at it too. Again, that's a tough defense. They were 3-0 for a reason. They were one of the better teams in the red zone for a reason. They showed that. We knew it would be a challenge, just like next week will be a challenge, and the week after that. But credit our guys. They played their tails off. They played together. But it'll be over in a few hours, and we'll get ready to play next week.
Jaxson, congrats on the win in your first NFL start. What a game it was for you. You had a rushing touchdown in your first drive, the shovel pass to Theo. Took a lot of hits. How are you feeling both mentally and physically?
Yeah, it was just a football game. I think that's just the best way to describe it. Obviously this experience was a special one, being my first one. And I'm just grateful to have the guys around me that I had. I obviously want to give a big shout out to Russ. I know that this week probably wasn't the easiest thing, but he handled it like a professional and just was a mentor for me. So, obviously just have a ton of respect for him, and it goes for Jameis as well, just getting me prepared for this week. And, really just proud of the guys being able to battle through some adversity throughout the game. And, it's not always going to be the cleanest, but I was just happy that we were able to come out with the win.
How are you feeling physically?
I feel good.
Jaxson, can you talk a little bit about that play to Theo, the one that picked up the first down, just how it came together in the moment, what you're seeing, what's he seeing, and the backstory to it?
Yeah, that one was really cool because it was something that we discussed, kind of a change-up, an adjustment on the route. He's really just supposed to keep running all the way through. And, I told him, just from like film prep and stuff, if you see that middle open, just sit it down for me. And so it was kind of just like a cool moment to see that happen in a big situation like that. And, we gave each other a little look and was really excited to obviously make that play with them.
Jax, were you surprised at all that they put the ball up and they put the trust in you to throw in that situation?
No, I wasn't, because, I wanted the ball in my hand. When I think back on the game, obviously I haven't watched the tape, but, there's mistakes that I made that I want back in the passing game, and I want to be cleaner. So I was grateful they did have the confidence in me to, give me the ball there. And I just knew in that situation, with the guys out there with me, that we were going to make a play.
Your mobility also got you out of some tough situations today. Would you say that the way you played today is kind of the way you like to balance it out in terms of using your legs and also throwing the ball?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to be a little bit, more efficient in the passing game, creating a little bit, a few more explosive plays. But, they had a really good plan for us, so you got to give them a ton of credit. And they've played, really good defense these past 3 weeks, and we knew that coming into this game. And, the vertical passing game down the field just wasn't there because of how they played. And, they're very disciplined. So, we were able to take some things underneath and, when things look a little sticky in coverage, just try to make some plays with my legs.
Jaxson, how will this offense change for you and overall if Malik's injury is long-term as feared?
Yeah, obviously prayers to him. I don't think that we know exactly what happened. So, he's going to be one of my first, phone calls to check on him. But Malik is, I've said it, Malik's one of one. So when you have a guy like that on the field, you have all the confidence in the world that he can just be a dominant game changer. But I thought, from that moment, obviously it's really hard seeing, one of your best friends go down. But we were able to rally, and I thought guys made some good plays. But, obviously just prayers to him. And, yeah.
What was kind of going through your mind in that situation? So I'm just on Malik still. What was going through your mind in that situation?
Obviously it hurts, because, it's the worst part of this game is the injuries. So, you hate to see, your teammate, your brother go down and look in pain like that. But, I'm just going to be praying for him, and, I got his back through it all.
Jaxson, you know what it's like. You know what it's like to.
I got her.
Go ahead.
What was going through your head as you're standing on the sidelines as the clock expires and you realize you're going to get your first NFL win?
Yeah, I mean, I was just waiting for it to hit 0 because, obviously that Dallas game, I in my mind I thought we were going to have that one. So I was just staring at the clock, just waiting for it to count down. But, John Runyon was right next to me, and that was a cool moment to have with him. And, yeah, it was just, special to get the first one. And this is just a start.
You know what it's like to, as a quarterback, to get hounded and get hit.
Yeah.
Could you tell it all from what your guys on defense were doing to Justin, and how important was that in getting this whole thing done?
Yeah, I thought our defense, carried us through this game. Thought our defense, our offensive line, played at a really elite level. And as a quarterback, when there's pressure like that and there's guys always in the backfield, no matter who you are, the game just speeds up. And they have a really good team over there and have played really good. So, our D-line knew that they had to be play at a dominant level for us to win. And really credit to those guys for stepping up and making a lot of plays.
We saw the moment you had with Daboll after the game. Clearly, he's very emotional. You have to know this was a big decision for him to go to you. So, could you feel how much this meant to him to get this win?
Yeah, like I said, that we've been really close in these past weeks, and it's hard, when you feel like you should win, you have plenty of opportunities to win, and there's just plays where, we just didn't make. And, I think everybody just in the locker room felt that way too. Like, we know that we have really good players on our team. So I think it was just, this is just a big, confidence builder for us as a team to, have a win like this where it wasn't easy, it wasn't clean, and we had to fight, just like the other weeks, but this time we finished. So, I thought our coaches did a really good job, and, obviously Dave was just excited to get a win.
What was that embrace like? What was that embrace like, and what did he say to you? What did you take from it?
Yeah, I mean, me and Dave just have a special relationship. He's the guy that believed in me from day one. And, I think it does say a lot, that he made the decision and had the confidence in me, and, even just giving me the ball in those situations on that third down to make a play. So, I think that I know that when you have a coach who, has your back, I'm going to go out there and do everything that I can for him to win.
Congratulations coming into your first NFL win, first NFL start. Coming into the stadium, there were a lot of young kids, had your jersey, cap on backwards, the Anakin Sky play. Yeah. What does it mean for you to see young kids now emulating you so early in your life?
It's really cool because, I was one of those kids. like Russell Wilson was, a guy who, I had, one of his first pairs of cleats when they came out, and, when you grow up and there's guys that you look up to, you try to emulate things, in the backyard when you're just playing around, with your friends. So it's cool to see that. It definitely gives me a feeling of, you just want to play really good and make people happy and obviously win, because, there's a lot of people who, take time out of their day and take the sacrifice. The tickets are not always the cheapest, and, they're here to support us. And I think it just means a lot. It definitely means a lot to me to see that support, and, it makes you definitely go harder.
What were you thinking when you were forced off the field for the concussion examination?
I was pissed. I want to see anybody try to sprint 70 yards as hard as you can, and then you got to run back and get ready for the next play. Like, you're going to be tired. So that's all it was. I was just tired, and obviously I never want to come out of the game.
How about your connection with Scatterbo?
Yeah, Scat's a baller. I just think that we play very similar, like mentality-wise. I need to be smarter in the open field of taking some hits and whatnot. But when you have a guy like that who just kind of brings the juice every single day and gives it his all, the guys around him want to play harder. So, and then off the field, we just have a really cool connection.
How much the hamstring? How much did you have to fight through pain or adjust your game, like mid-game, playing through it?
I didn't feel like I really had to adjust my game. It's just kind of football. Like, you're going to take a little bit of a step or something. You're not going to feel perfect throughout a game, and I'll take this week and recover, and I'll be ready to go.
Oftentimes when defensive linemen get a deflection like that that lands in their hands, teammates are screaming for the ball. Was there any way you were going to give that thing up?
Nobody was close to me. I tell everybody I'm the fastest.
How close did you think you were going to get to the goal line?
I thought I was going to score. I knew he was going to go low, but I couldn't catch my feet quick enough. But yeah, and then I just went down.
Dex, for the defense to close this game out, what does that mean after we've been in this position before and not been able to do it?
That's everything. We asked for that. We asked to be on the field when it matters most, and and this week we just took advantage. The whole game we was on each other, speaking through the game about situational awareness and understanding what plays need to be made right here, and giving the offense short fields to play on, and the whole game we was speaking, and when you speak on stuff like that, it happens.
Is it extra important because it was darts this time? You're playing with a rookie quarterback. Did you know?
I think regardless. I think that's regardless of the fact. You want to. That's how you want to play as a defense. When you get opportunities and they inside their 5, their 10, you want to hold them there so the offense can get short, no matter who's that quarterback.
What do you think of Dart's first start?
I think he's tough. He's tough. He took some hits, and but he got back up and made the plays we needed to help us win, and that's what mattered most.
Is this the vision? Like you guys, this pass rush, the guys up front kind of leading the way and being as disruptive as you were?
Yeah, you got a lot of ballers up front. You got a lot of guys that's getting paid to do this, to go out here and dominate every game, and we put that pressure on ourselves. We want it, and we embrace it. We don't shy away from it, and we just got to continue to be consistent and show up every week and prepare the right way. And that's what we did this week, and we came out with a W.
How much more feasible is it, Dex, when you lead for 50 minutes of the game for the pass rush to tee off? Like, you played from ahead. The Giants don't usually do that.
We just playing ball, man. I think we got to do better of holding the momentum. When things happen like that big run, we can't let that happen. Little things like that. But at the end of the day, you as a defense, you want to be dominant, and no matter where the ball is spotted, no matter how it's spotted, no matter where it is, you want to go out there and dominate.
Dex, of course, it's easier for a rookie in his first start to have a 3-yard field than 70, 80 yards to go down, even if you want an interception every game. Do you take some pride in the fact that you were able to make it easier on Jaxson in the offense?
No, for sure. And like I was saying, the message through the whole game was, if they here, keep them here. Let's get the offense a short field, because we know how important that is for anybody, any quarterback, to have a short field. So, we talked through the whole game. Whenever they was in their 10, inside their 5, let's hold them here, let's keep them here, get the offense a short field.
You mentioned just this week wanted to be consistent and coming out today and doing it.
I think consistent. I was speaking consistent throughout the year,
right?
Like with a dominant performance.
Did anything click maybe since that Dallas game, as the last couple weeks leading up to today?
I can't say. I think we just continue to prepare the right way, and that's the most important thing. We're communicating better, and we're learning each other more, and I think that's the biggest thing. We just got to understand the importance of situational defense and offense, and outcomes gonna happen like this.
Dex, not a perfect day. You guys lose Malik. Feared torn ACL. What did you think of the way you guys responded to that, and how do you respond to it going forward?
Yeah, prayers up to him for sure. It hurts to see a soldier go down, but we gotta. I think injuries happen in this game. We play a dangerous game, and it's unfortunate, but I think we got guys that got to step up, and I think they're gonna take advantage of it.
I know as defense, as players, we all just grateful for every opportunity. So having the Rook come in and play quarterback, I mean, we all were just grateful to be out there, to be honest. And upstairs felt like that was what gave us the spark, or was going to give us the spark, and it did, and we ended up winning the game. So super grateful, super humble, super happy.
Tibbs, what was your reaction, man, watching Dex go down that sideline, going towards the end zone?
I got a loaf on that play. I'm not gonna lie to you. I look back. I'm like, what happened? What's going on? You just see Dex stumbling, bumbling, and rumbling downfield. I thought he would have, scored a touchdown, but we're gonna talk about that later.
On that last sack by Brian Burns, when Herbert got up, he slammed the ball on the ground. He looked frustrated. That's not like him. Could you tell that your rush was frustrating him?
This whole time, nobody gonna say nothing. Y'all are crazy for that.
See it.
All right.
Could you tell you were frustrating him? Because he's not usually a guy that shows emotion.
I mean, he's not a guy. Justin Herbert, I'm speaking, from experience. I used to be my quarterback, but he's a guy who doesn't show a lot of emotion. I think we were able to get to him. He loves the game, so love when I get to see the opposing quarterback a little frustrated.
Can you describe the emotions as the clock's winding down at the end of it? How badly you guys needed this one, and to be able to put it away the way the defense did?
It felt great to finally get a win. Selfishly, as offensive lineman, I'm frustrated. I think we could have finished a little better in the red zone in 4 minutes to win the game. I think we'll need that down the stretch, but definitely excited to get a win at home.
And could you tell that from the beginning that the vibes were a little different? Like, we're in here usually, we're asking you about who got booed or the planes or whatever. It just seemed like today, like the crowd was behind you guys were playing with the lead from the beginning. Like, did it feel different?
Yeah, I think when you start fast, like we did, that sets you up to perform better. But in this league, you want to be able to come back, weather the storm. So I'm excited how we played and finished through the game, had some adversity. We'll just try to keep building.
Why do you think you guys finished this one? There have been so many times where you guys have played a good game and not finished it. Yeah. What was different today?
I mean, it's just a game of inches. We made those plays today, and the previous games we didn't. It's that simple.
How do you feel coming out of it?
Good. It was a tough one. Fought through. Glad to be out there with my teammates and continue to improve and get better so I can help us out.
What do you think of the way Scatterboo ran the ball?
Tough as usual. That's just how he is. He brings that juice to our offense and continues to do that.
There's a blueprint for the Giants to win. I imagine it's play with the lead and let Burns, Carter, Thibodeaux, Dex tee off. I think they had 20 quarterback pressures today. Is that kind of what you saw today? Is that the blueprint?
Yeah, we know our front is dominant, but again, selfishly as offensive linemen, I want to be dominant as well. Like, I want us to be able to run the ball when we want to, protect and allow Jaxson to get the ball to the receivers, and who knows where our team can go from there if we can do that.
I mean, how different was the style of offense, obviously, with the more running quarterbacks? What was it like kind of learning that this week and doing it today?
It was a little different. We've had some QB runs in before. We worked some stuff in the offseason, so it wasn't too much of an adjustment. I would say the only adjustment probably was the tempo, getting on the ball a little bit more. For the big guys up front, just more in your lungs, but it obviously was working, so we continue to do that.
On that tempo note, was that something y'all talked about intentionally doing this week with Jackson's first start?
Yeah, we did.
I'm sure at Penn State you may have had a mistake or two in a game and you had the fourth down offsides, but it looked like that made you triply more focused the rest of the game. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, for sure. I never want to make a critical mistake like that. I put that touchdown on me. If I do my job, stay on sides, that don't happen. But obviously I learn from it and I use it as motivation.
All right, so how much does this win mean to the team?
It means a lot, but it's just one. We're going to celebrate this tonight, then we're going to prepare for New Orleans.
Thanks for your time.
So did you have to love a little bit as a pass rush today? Like, did you know early you were getting there?
For sure. I was speaking we get a lead, the game is getting late, time running out, we know we got to get on our horses. That's when we start to hunt. That's when we go out and do our pass rush.
How emotional was it when you saw Burns get that sack that just completely flipped the field?
Yeah, like I said, I seen the Austin's training camp, the way he played, every play, full effort, all out, and he got rewarded for that with that late sack.
You just said that Burns was a good spec, so just kind of seeing how much energy he put out there, how much did that kind of motivate you guys to keep playing the way he was giving his all out?
Yeah, we feed off that. We feed off each other. Whoever's bringing the energy, we all try to feed off that and keep bringing the energy all together.
Abdul, when a guy like Malik goes down, how as a team do you bounce back and kind of recover from that adversity?
Yeah, that's tough. Obviously, everybody knows what Malik brings and the impact he has. So it was sad seeing him go down, but at the end of the day, we had a job to do. We had a job to finish, and we finished it for him.
You've been in stadiums before where the home crowd is roaring and, it's just an electric scene. Take me through those final minutes. What is, from your perspective, to see this place compared to where it was a week ago?
Yeah, much better. We would like to keep it like this. So like I said, we got to lock in, we got to focus. We got to see all the things good this week, improve on it, and be better next week.
Would you like to get your first professional NFL win?
Yeah, like I'm happy. All I care about is winning. So I'm happy about this. But like I said, just one game, we got to continue to stack wins, stack days, and get ready for next week.
You've had a tight bond with Jaxson since you guys got here the day after the draft. Just curious what kind of advice you've given him. Heard you've been talking to him a lot. You guys both been going back and forth.
Yeah, I always tell him to stay ready because you never know when your time is called. And obviously his time was called. It came up for us, but that's our conversation. Making sure we both stand on top of our game, doing our jobs at the best way we can do it.
Somebody had said that you guys were the future, and you kind of corrected them and said you guys.
Yeah, I always say, the future is now.
Any advice?
Was this the first time, well, maybe not the first time, but how effective do you think you guys up front were at bothering Justin Herbert today?
I think we're effective, but I feel like we can be even more effective. But I feel like we still miss some opportunities out there. But like I said, we're going to watch the film. We're going to see what we did wrong. We're going to improve on it.
Did you feel like you were around him a lot and hit him a lot?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Did he ever say anything? He was a big guy. Did he say anything that was sensitive?
No, he didn't say nothing to him.
No.
Why were you having such success with the stunts inside coming off the edge?
I get a credit to my teammates. Once if somebody does their job at a high level, it opens it up for me. And if I do my job, it opens it up for them. So, like I said, it's a team game, and the best team won today.
Any advice? Alexander gets an interception?
Nah, I feel like he did a great job. He was moving out there. He stumbled towards the end, but that was a big time play.
The Burns sack at the end there to make a punt. What was your vision of that play right there?
Yeah, like I said, I've seen that all camp ever since I've been here. The way Burns worked, how he go about his business. It's the reason why he dominating right now.
How'd you finish this one? You guys have been in this spot so many times and not finished this one. What was different today?
We executed better. Offensively, we didn't turn the ball over. Defense got some turnovers, put us in some advantageous positions to score the football. And we still didn't quite score like we want to, but today we scored enough to win the game.
What did you think of Jaxson start?
I think he played a heck of a game. Great poise. It would have been really easy for him to come out here and be reaching and trying to make crazy plays and live up to some expectation, but he stayed calm and poised the entire game and just played his game. Was efficient and ran well as well.
You're a veteran. Has anything changed for you without Malik? Like obviously now people are there's a big void of yards and catches to fill.
Yeah.
People are going to look at you.
Yeah, I prepare for this. That's what I prepare for in the offseason. Obviously it's going to be a group effort, collective effort, but we'll be able to get the job done going forward. Briefly at halftime he was here, and then at the game he wasn't. So, but I'll hopefully get a chance to see him tomorrow. I'll probably call him today at some point.
How sweet was victory number 1 this year?
What was what?
How sweet is it to get victory number 1 this season?
It was great. It's a great feeling, especially to win at home. Win in front of our fans. Give them something to cheer about. It was awesome.
What did Malik say when you talked to him? What did you know him?
I just told him, we're praying for him. We got his back. We're gonna go out there and finish this game for him. And obviously he didn't say too much. He's pretty, pretty sad. But we got his back. We'll uplift him and we'll keep him in our prayers.
Did you feel the juice today? Like we've been in here asking you about planes flying over and booing and whatnot. From the start of the game, it felt like the crowd was behind you guys today. Did you feel that?
Yeah, for sure. But I also think it helps a lot when you go out there on opening drive, you score a touchdown. Allows the crowd to get into it, which is, we haven't done that the greatest. But, if we continue to do that, the crowd will continue to stay in. And like I said, you got to give them something to cheer about. And, today we did.
Jackson's really happy that I kind of sat in that zone there.
You guys had talked about that, right? Dave just told us that you and Jaxson had gone over that play, off script and off script.
Yeah, we've gone over that play, but what I had done is not necessarily something that we were taught. Again, that's something kind of me and Jaxson were on the same page with. Just great, tight end quarterback connection there.
Theo, Jermaine just talked about how, for a rookie, he was so settled from the beginning of the first drive that he kind of settled everybody else down up front. Is that something you saw from the first drive? Jaxson, even though he was a rookie, he was so settled and so calm that everybody else settled down up front?
Yeah, I think there's nothing about him that is typical to a rookie. His poise, the way he can, rally the troops. Everyone just rallied behind him. He's got great energy, and everyone's got a ton of respect for him.
I think this is really the first time that you've been in this building. You've seen the good that MetLife could bring. What's that feeling like? What are the emotions as the clock's winding down and you guys are waiting for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great feeling, and it's on us as players and this organization to continue to do well and win so that we can get that reaction out of the crowd. We can have that juice.
How bad did this team need this win, Theo?
Yeah, we need it. Yeah, for sure.
How much? I mean, obviously 0-3 is a tough start, and you guys come out today and beat a team that not many people figured you were going to beat.
Yeah,
so how important is that?
It just takes one. It just takes one to get going, and we definitely need this win today.
Did you feel how much this meant for Daboll particularly this week? I know it was a big week for him. How much this meant for Daboll in particular? So it's a quarterback change, kind of lies without him, and you guys need to respond for him.
Yeah, I think it was huge, but now it's more so we went out there and beat a team like that, showed what we're capable of. It wasn't the cleanest of wins, but we found a way to win. Now we're going against, I don't know what New Orleans' record is, but you're going to look at their record. It's still an NFL team, still have talent. So we're going to go out there and just kind of continue to do what we did today.
How much of a psychological boost was it to have Dart at quarterback today?
I think that confidence he carries himself with and just the swagger he has is contagious. And, him in the huddle, it was a completely different type of energy, and that's nothing against Russ. Every quarterback's different, but the way he carries himself and the determination he plays with and the detail he plays with is just huge, and, just made you want to run through a brick wall for him.
So, Brian, the pass rush today was very, very potent. I'm sure this is kind of what you were expecting from the very get-go of the season, right?
Yeah. It was good. Everybody ate respectfully, and it was a good day.
The sack that you had, the third down with about 2.5 minutes to go, that forced them to punt the football. Incredibly important play. It looked like you got extra emphasis on gearing that one up.
Yeah, I asked for that one. We had that play call earlier, and they kind of hit us for a big game. But I told Coach to run it back, and he trusted me. I trust him.
Could you contrast the feelings of holding this one and locking it down in the final seconds with a 3-point lead as opposed to what happened in Dallas?
You said, how does it feel different?
Yeah.
The plays that we we lacked making in Dallas, we made today. So, that's ultimately why we got this dub. That sack, it was some crucial run stops that we had. And the way Scat was running the ball, it's just these plays is what we needed in Dallas, but we corrected it and we got him today. So
talking to Scat on the field, he said he knew it was going to be a grinded out game in the trenches. Probably figured it'd be low scoring. Defensively, when you guys know that going in, do you have to pick it up an extra couple notches to know you have to hold down Justin Herbert?
I mean, yeah, that's in the back of your mind, but at the same time, it's like that should always be on our mind, whether we have that situation or not. You understand? Like, it always should be on our mind as a defense to take the ball away, make it easy for our offense, and just outplay the other defense. So the emphasis on taking the ball away and making the game easy and starting fast should always be there. But it was definitely there today.
Brian, could you tell Justin looked a little after you hit him? He looked pretty frustrated. Slams the ball.
Yeah, I mean, every quarterback can feel that way. We got a lot of hits on him, honestly. He's a great quarterback. You have to affect a guy like that, especially with the weapons that he has. You got to affect a guy like that and try to keep him in a box. So I feel like we did that for the most part. We changed it up a little bit. Abdul got a lot more rushes on the edge. I was inside a lot more, roaming around. So it was a different look, but it was successful.
Is there anything better when you see a quarterback get frustrated?
Huh?
Is there anything better as a defensive rusher when you see a quarterback get frustrated?
I'm not going to answer that, but frustration is good.
How surprising was the athleticism of Dexter Lawrence on the tip ball, the interception, and
I didn't even know he got it.
The race to the end zone. You didn't realize?
No, I didn't realize during the play. I'd seen it on the screen afterward. I was in there fighting, so I didn't know what happened. But I mean, Dexter's amazing, bro. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? I credit a lot of our success, me, Abdul, KT, also to Dex, because, you know, just from him being a leader, just from him, you know, showing us and crafting us in certain ways, in certain aspects of our rushes, and also just the attention that he demands, you know what I'm saying? He's freeing us up a lot. I just want to free him up, you know what I mean? So.
Next one.
As a defense, you're not going to be able to directly help a young quarterback in his first start, but you can't come much closer than getting multiple interceptions to the defense, 3-yard line. Multiple interceptions to the defense to bring it down to the 3-yard line to give them a short field. How did it feel as a defense to be able to help them out that way?
Felt great. You know, that was the plan coming in. You know, like I said, our plan should always be to take the ball away, but, you know, especially in this first start, we want to make it as easy as possible and keep the momentum on our side. And I feel like we did that, so it feels great to, you know, help him in that way.
Brian, you mentioned making the plays at the end of this game that you guys weren't able to 2 weeks ago. What did you guys do in the time between now and then to be able to make those plays?
It's really just a game of inches, dog. Like, it just comes down to making the plays. It's not really something that, I mean, you can tighten up on the details, but as far as when it comes to making that play, you just got to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could have easily been a sack. I'm not going to say easily, but that could have been a sack I could have missed. You know what I'm saying? It could have been a completion. And I should have had that, but I made the play, you know what I mean? So it just comes down to game of inches, man. It's just every given Sunday is different.
Brian, the significance of winning the game, like, that's a pretty good team to beat. Can that carry over? Like, you guys always say, we're a good team, we're going to get it done. To actually, at some point, you need to see it, right? So, like, can that carry over?
I enjoy the game. I enjoy the win. I still have enough understanding, you know, just throughout my years that game was still sloppy in a lot of ways. And it's okay, though, but because at the end of the day, we got the dub. But, you know what I'm saying? I understand that, so we still need to get back to the drawing board and fix up those things because it may not be like that next time.
First is Jackson's physicality when he's running motivate the entire game.
That scares me, actually. I love it. It gets us hyped. You know what I'm saying? I love when he drop his shoulder and everything like that, but I sometimes would like him to just, you know, take the slide. Well, he got that dog in him, though.
Is this what we all, or you envisioned when you got Abdul and you're here and Kayvon's here and Dex, and that what this, you know, we heard all summer what this defensive front could be? Is this the first time that you maybe, as a group,
I feel like we've been showing it a lot, you know. It's just in this situation. Appreciate you, Dex. I feel like we've been showing it a lot. It's just in this situation, like, it really, you know, it mattered. You know what I'm saying? And we rose to the occasion, but throughout these 4 weeks, I feel like we've been rushing very well. You know.
Was this the best?
I would say this is probably the best performance we put on. They had a dinged up O-line though. I'm not here for moral victories, but at the same time, we did what we were supposed to do to their O-line. So.
Not every win is created equal, right? Like, how would you describe this win? Like, how important was it for this group? Like, how much did you guys need this?
It's a great win because it's the next win. It's the first win. You understand? If we win next week, it's gonna be a great win as well. Every win is a win. You know what I'm saying? You got it done. We're in that column. That's all that matters, really. I don't care how ugly it is, but at the end of the day, you still have to be aware to, you know, clean up those small details so it can be a better win. It could be a better win. You understand?
Does it provide relief, though, the first one, in some way?
So what?
Does the first one provide some relief, though, in some way? Like, to get out of the way kind of deal?
Yeah, it's kind of like just a weight released off you, you know what I'm saying, to finally get in that column. It's just now to, you know, learn from the tape, learn from the mistakes, and build on it. So we in New Orleans with it.